Hi there, guys. Again, this is the posting of our last question and answer session. Got a few live calls on this one, a few questions that were asked via email, and we'll go over them all in the next 5-10 minutes or so. So, first up, there's Nick.
So for someone at 100 kilos, what sort of beginner, what sort of twin tip ball, what sort of size do you go for?
As your first, now you've got two options here, really. You've got a few
Yeah,
options. Two options
yeah,
that I look at really is you can go big and make your life really easy because what
yeah.
makes your life really easy to start with, but you will grow out of it quite quickly.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah,
But you'll be able to reset. A big board like that will keep its value fairly well, especially because you're only using
yeah,
it for a few months.
yeah.
Obviously, what happens with a big board is slowly, as you get better and you start jumping and things like this, it
Yeah,
starts
yeah,
feeling like a big board, and it's just a heavy
yeah,
thing. And obviously, the bigger it is, the less reactive it is, the less
yeah.
dynamic it is. But it will make your life a lot easier to start with because it will
All
keep
right.
going through the lulls. It'll be a lot more forgiving. It'll
Yeah,
take less effort from the kite to get you up and riding. So it
yeah.
makes life a lot easier in that way. But you'll need to, you
Okay.
don't necessarily need to reset it because you could always keep it. You could go really big, like a 155, 156, something like that,
All
which is
right.
a big board, but it's also a light wind board.
All right.
You can then use that in the future. Don't sell it, keep it. But on a day when
Yeah,
just borderline, well, cool, right?
yeah.
Smaller board, I'll take my big board out and I'll get going.
All right. Cool.
But
All right.
that's
That
one
sounds good.
the other option is go smaller, go for like your perfect
Yeah,
board would
yeah.
be around 138,
Oh,
140 centimeters,
all
something like
right.
that, I would say.
All
Um,
right. Okay. But that's when I get a bit better.
but
Okay.
that's when you
Yeah.
get a bit better. So you could, well, I
Yeah.
mean, you could go that to start with. You could and
Okay.
just accept, okay, the learning curve is going to be slightly tougher,
Yeah.
but I will, but I'll grow into this board and I won't ever have to sell this. Someone's just joined
All
me.
right.
It'll,
Yeah.
it'll last forever. So
Okay.
you can do that if you want. It's up to you, really. How
All
you
right, mate.
Hi, how are you?
good, mate? How are you?
Great. So first of all, I watch all your videos religiously. I'm
Oh,
from Israel.
perfect.
Uh, just joined kite surfing around 2 years ago.
Right.
And we have the Mediterranean beach, so I guess it's the same sea as you, but we have northern winds, which are good for beginners. Probably like 20 days a year. That's about it.
Right. Okay. Where are you based?
And in Israel.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have Eilat, which is actually the Red Sea, which has much better winds, but it's like a 4-hour drive from where we live. So
Right. Okay. Yeah.
we don't have that many days of wind, but when
Uh-huh.
we do, we're all out.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I know what you mean. Yeah. 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 I can believe that. Yeah.
so
It's quite
actually,
different, isn't it? We've had quite a few people coming through from Israel, and they say it's actually when it works, it's really nice out there.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, so actually, I've been trying for around 2 years, not giving up. Anytime I wanted to give up, I went out and bought a kite just to make sure I don't give up. And my main right now I'm in the water start level, and I'm able to surf to one side but not able to surf to the other, meaning
Right.
when I dive the kite to the right, I'm okay. I'm a righty. Obviously there's always the good side and the bad side,
Yeah.
but when it comes to going to the bad side, for some reason, I sent you my question. My kite, instead of going in front of me, goes sideways. It goes like on the neutral zone. When I try to dive the kite to my weak side, yeah, it might be something that I'm doing
So you're
wrong.
so you're you're not coming out of the water at all on your weaker side.
I'm getting pulled to the left because instead of the kite diving in front of me, it dives to my left on like almost on the neutral zone.
Yeah. So does that mean that you're not getting the power to actually pull you out of the water, or
Right.
you are, and then you're stalling once you're up?
No, when I go to my good side, I'm getting out of the water. I'm surfing perfectly. I'm
Yeah.
not perfectly, but I'm surfing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
When I try to go to the weak side, I don't get out of the water. I'm just
Right.
the
Okay.
I
Yeah. Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
It's almost as if maybe I try to tell myself, don't be scared of putting the kite in front of you. But I try to put it in front of me, and for some reason, it just doesn't go in front of me. It goes sideways.
Yeah, I'm with you. Cool. What you can do, the easiest way to try and remedy this is, can you see me or not?
I can see you. I can see
Right,
you.
okay. So let's say you've got your kite at 12 o'clock
Right.
you're gonna start doing the downstroke from 12 o'clock. What you do next time is pull the kite back to almost 45 degrees on the other side. So you're starting, rather than starting, so we normally say pull it back to kind of 1 o'clock. Rather than pull it back to 1 o'clock, pull it much further back. So give yourself much more space and then start the stroke from there.
And then that way, instead of it diving to all the way on the neutral zone, it will, just go into the middle.
It should give you, and what you can even do, what I've seen people do is instead is have it over here and just zip it straight across the foot. Now, it's not as good because it's not as controlled doing it that way, but you'll definitely get the power. Because the problem probably is, what we see a lot of the time is people, yeah, you're right. People, because it's your weaker side, your brain betrays you and says, look, I don't want to go that way. I don't feel comfortable. I'm not going to chicken out, but I'm going to make it easy by keeping the stroke nice and light. Whereas by pulling it back that much further, it means that even if you do go a little bit too light, the kite's going to drop much further into the power zone, whether you want it to or not.
Right.
So that would be the first thing I would say is look at that. That's going to be one of the things. The other thing I would say is probably what people tend to do when they're going on their weaker side is, again, it's this kind of brain reaction of, I don't actually want to go that way. So you tend to dig in with your what will be your back foot. Just like you would in a snowboard when you try and stop a snowboard, you skid it sideways, you'll do the same unconsciously with the board. So you'll tend to push against it to try and spin. It's actually what your brain's doing, is trying to stop you. So what I would suggest, I say, look, when you're trying to water start, most people give the advice, try and push with your front leg. Yeah, have you been told that? Mm-hmm. Rather than thinking of that, think about pulling with your back leg.
Pulling towards me?
Yeah, so your back leg, so you're crouched in the water start position, right. And rather than pushing your front leg away as you come up, try and it won't go, but think about pulling your back leg even further in towards you.
Oh, okay.
It has the same effect, because you still come up with the board at 45 degrees, but rather than now standing up, or worse, pushing against the board, you'll pull your feet in towards you, which keeps you nice and small and means that you cannot push against, you can't resist that kite pulling you up. Your brain can't stop you anymore.
What's it called? That actually explains something, because when I am able to get up on the weak side, I skid. I'm,
Right. Okay. So we'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, that's another thing which we can talk about.
No, but I'm saying by pulling the right foot in towards me, that would also solve that problem, because then the board would be going downwind.
It does, but that could also be that you haven't fully finished off the stroke. Because if the kite's still fairly high, if you generate a lot of power quite quickly and the kite's still fairly high in the window, then you're going to be pulled much straighter, and also your weight's going to drop back naturally because you're resisting a high pull. So that's when you tend to skid. So yeah, you're right, pull your leg in as you come up on the other side, but also make sure that you finish that stroke off by dropping the kite, and it should finish not far above the water.
Right.
Because that way the power's coming down, but it's also pulling you out, and it pulls your weight slightly onto your front foot, which means that you can't skid. Because the problem with your skidding is because your weight's too far back and it's too straight. You're almost skiing out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So by bringing your back leg in and dropping the kite all the way down, it means that you follow the kite out at that 45-degree angle that we want. But your weight's all correct over your board so that you're not going to skid.
So that actually really helped me on the good side,
Good.
Being able to finish it, and it really pulls you in the right direction. One thing that I do that actually a friend, I think he took it from you, is that when you said, bring the kite to 1 o'clock, not to 12 o'clock, and then that spins the board a little bit also, because when you're coming back.
Yeah.
So it makes the board, instead of it being perpendicular to yourself, it gives it a little bit of an angle towards where you're going to start surfing.
Exactly.
And it makes it easier to get up.
Yeah. So this is what I'd say. It does, but be careful. If you're taking it to 45, do it slow, because you don't want to come around too far.
Right.
You know what I mean? 1 o'clock is great because it just gives you, as you say, it gives you that little bit of an angle. 45 is probably going to give you, it's going to spin you, if you bring it across fast and then whip it back over fast, it's going to give you too much movement at that point. So I'd say drift the kite back to 45. You'll spin a little bit, but we can live with that, and then go from there.
Okay, perfect.
And if the water start is something that you're suffering with, that you're struggling with, should I say, go and check out our online course designed to be done before and during your kite surfing lessons and designed to knock weeks, if not months, off the time it'll take you to learn to kite surf. This course is awesome. I'm really excited about it, and I'd really love to see you on the inside because we're getting some great results, and I'd love to get them for you. The link is just below this video. You should see it down there. Click on that link. You'll be taken over to a video that will explain all about the course, what you're going to get, how much it costs, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. So our last question for today comes from Ben. Ben asks, hey, love the podcast YouTube. I'm kite surfing since 6 months now and can go upwind a bit if the wind is good. But in light winds, after the water start, the kite often hangs around 2 o'clock and does not catch the wind, so I fall back in the water. All the other guys are okay, even with smaller kites, so it's a bit frustrating. Ben. Okay, yeah, Ben, this is a hugely common mistake. You're not alone with this one. This is one of the major things that we see once people get to this stage. What's basically happening, I guarantee it, you're bringing the kite down, and at this point, because you're up and riding, you're thinking, great, I'm riding, let's just go. So what your body probably does, either you've got the bar all the way in, which is probably what's happening, or if not, because you're up and riding, you're thinking, more power will keep me riding, so I'll pull the bar in at this point. Which obviously, as with all things kite surfing, is absolutely the wrong thing to do. What you need to do at this point, because think of the water start as 3 strokes. The first downstroke, its only job is to get you out of the water. It will not get you riding 90% of the time. If you're slightly overpowered, yes it will, but let's take ideal conditions. Your first stroke is just to get you out of the water. Then after that, you need to bring the kite back up again. That second stroke, that upstroke, that holds you on top of the water. And then you have a second downstroke, or the third stroke in total, that's the stroke that actually gets you riding forward. Now, the mistake most people make at this stage, and it sounds like you're making, is you're expecting that first stroke to be the one that gets you riding. If you take next time at the beach, look at some of the good guys. And I guarantee you may not seem it, but break down their water start, and I bet they're doing 3 strokes. They've got the downstroke, the upstroke, which holds them up, and the downstroke, which comes down. It will probably look very neat, but I guarantee you it's generally about 3 strokes. Not always, because again, if you're very nicely powered, you can do it in 1. But for the moment, for your purposes, I want you to think about it in 3 strokes. Down gets you out of the water. Up keeps you on the water. Down again drives you forward. So what's your mistake? Your mistake is because you're trying to get up and ride on that first one, you've got the bar all the way in, and as the kite comes down, you say at 2 o'clock, you're holding the kite there. Go. What you've got to do is immediately bring the kite back up again. Now, when you bring it up again, let's say you're riding to the left, don't bring it past 11 o'clock, because the mistake people make here is they bring the kite back, bring it all the way over to the other side, and now the kite's pulling them in this direction, but they're trying to ride in that direction. So you want to work the kite in this area here, so between kind of 9 and 11 o'clock. Okay, so work it on that side of the window. So the kite comes down instantly. As soon as it's down, comes back up again. Then as it hits 11 o'clock, comes back down again. So don't hold the kite at 2 o'clock. Yeah. Again, the other reason that this will be happening is because the bar's all the way in, you're basically now strangling the kite. So the kite will sit there and it'll be very sluggish to respond. So you need to get the bar out and steer it up. So that you give the kite its head, so to speak, and let the kite come back up again and then bring it back down again. So what I would say, bring the kite down, instantly bring it back up and let the bar out. That should see you working this 100 times better. Again, the key here is get your brain around that you're not going to ride on that first stroke. It's a 3-stroke process. Okay, so hope that helps you, Ben. Hope that was useful, guys. If you've got any questions that you want me to answer on one of these, There's a link again in the notes below to the question and answer page where you can go. You can either sign up to register on the monthly call and ask me a question in person. This is the best way to do it because you can see we can have a back and forth and we can actually uncover sort of a lot of the hidden things that are going on behind the problem you've got. Or if you can't make the call, drop me an email and I'll cover it in the call to get your answer as specific as I can. Okay, thanks for your time, guys. If you enjoyed that, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.